Today I am not cooking, I am cleaning the Weber Lumin electric grill. Weber recommends a couple different cleaning utensils. One is their stainless steel brush, which I'll use on the grill, and this flat scraper that actually works pretty good even though it looks kind of flimsy. We don't cook a lot of real high fat content foods that make a lot of smoke that would get up on the upper portion here, but there is some splatter. But of course the big issue is food that sticks to the grills, and it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. And so it's kind of, they talk about doing this after you have cooked, so things are still hot. Sometimes it's just too hot to do that, but I will go through and I will scrape off as much as possible, just remembering that it's going to splatter all over the place. So that's why I wear this little apron thing, because I have wrecked some shirts. So I will scrape off as much of this as possible before I go into my cleaning routine. I have taken out the grills and put them in the sink to begin soaking, and you can take out the heating element. There's two screws that you just have to undo. Weber does not recommend using paper towels when you're cleaning, which makes sense because paper towels can tear and then stay behind, and they can catch on fire. So once you have those two screws out, the heating element comes out like so, and they recommend do not scrub it. I guess you can just kind of gently knock off anything that might be on there that's kind of hard, but generally the heating element stays pretty clean. The next task using their scraper is to just knock all the stuff down into these two holes, and that's where the grease and crumb little catch pan is located. So I just scrape everything down in there as much as possible. Then once I have most of everything down in the little catch tray, just pull it out, and there it is. Now I have changed this catch tray a couple weeks ago, but it usually gets filled up with a lot of grease and oil if you are cooking meat and all the drippings. So that's pretty clean, but you can see all of the carbon residual from meat and vegetables that has fallen down there that we've been able to collect, and I will now discard. With the heating element removed and I've scraped off all of the loose stuff, you can lift this catch basin drip pan, giant drip pan, right out, and I'm going to put it in the sink with the grills and wash it as well. So Weber recommends just grease cutting detergent and water to clean the inside, and that seems like about the best thing. That way you're not leaving a lot of chemical residues behind. I've tried to cook some bread in here, but sometimes some stuff picks up the smell, the aroma from what you previously cooked. So my bread kind of tasted and smelled like salmon. We did some other pizza and it had kind of a hamburger taste to it. So I don't know how good it is for bread products. And it is always difficult to clean this up here in terms of the grease that accumulates. They do say, Weber, as being them, is that you can take this stainless steel top part out, never cook with it out, always have everything together. it is really difficult to get off the discoloration from all of the grease. So I'm just going to clean it and get all the things, the scrapings that pop off, and kind of clean it up that way. I've had the Weber grill for several months now, and doesn't smell, when you're leaving it just out in the open. It has not attracted bugs. We do try and spray for ants, but I've never had any ants or any critters like that. So I've been really happy with the Weber grill and the way it just kind of sits outside, outdoor kitchen to a certain extent, and it seems to be working very well for what we use it for. And to dry, remove any soap residue. Weber recommends a microfiber cloth, or you can use an old t-shirt, I think, or an old pair of underwear, and that seems to clean it up and soak up any water very well. So these Weber grills, cast iron, they're very heavy, so if you have in your sink, I have placed these little placemats, that water can flow through them, so that it doesn't scratch the stainless steel, and I suppose the same thing as if you had a porcelain. And then I'm going to just stick also the big catch pan in there and fill it up with water and soap, and just kind of let it soak for a while. So once it's soaked, I found that the scraper can be useful in getting off some of the other grease drippings that have gone on the big catch pan. It's interesting how much food, vegetable, meat stuff is on the grill, and I just used this. Weber does mention using gloves, and I would actually recommend it. I already cut myself with these little wire bristles. They can be very sharp, and if you go back and forth, you're going to have grease splattering all over the place. So you got to be careful. And don't forget the underside, where a lot of the grease dripping just kind of accumulates. But with a little bit of elbow grease, you can get that off. I think I'm only going to do this once a year at the end of the grilling season. This is a lot of work. Well, I have my Weber Lumin electric grill all cleaned up as well as I'm going to do it. Yeah, there's still some discoloration, but it's an outdoor grill. You're cooking stuff, high temperatures. I'm okay with it. One thing Weber does mention is to be careful with this bottom pan. You don't want to dent it. It is integral into heating and cooking the food, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's put together. Cleans up very well, and I look forward to using it for the rest of this cooking season and into next and beyond. So, happy grilling.